we are blizzard running. You know, I always said the best way to survive winter is you gotta go blizzard running. I mean, most of the snow's calmed down by now. We're gonna go shoot some footage down by the river. Now, if you ever go blizzard running, you gotta have these on. All right. Wind chill is about, like a real feel, about 15, so it's not too bad. So I'm happy to be out here. There's a lot more snow than I thought. I thought it was just gonna be about maybe 5-6 inches. It's actually more like 8 to 9 inches, exactly what they thought it said it was gonna be. It looks like somebody is already out here in their cross-country skis. You know, my shoes, condition of it are not ideal, but it's actually not that cold out. Let's see if we get down by the river. It's very pretty out though. I've been waiting for a moment this winter to get some snow shots. Today's perfect timing. It really is. Yeah, get a feel for how much snow. So this started yesterday at 3 p.m. Chicago time, and it's now about 11 a.m. Chicago time. So we're gonna plow through there in our running shoes, and we'll get some river photography. Here we go. Here we go. Oh yeah. Some of the snow drifts are a good 1.5 feet, 2 feet deep. So after we're done filming, I'm gonna have to run back fast, you know? Oh yeah. Let's just shoot some photography while we're down here too. Gorgeous. Oh yeah. This is wintertime in Chicagoland. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. We're gonna trounce back through the snow. Yeah, it's very deep. It's pretty friggin' deep. Well, what am I listening? I'm listening to Fish from Madison Square Garden. New Year's Eve. And sounds really good. Oh, it's very steep right here. Shit. Ah. Oh my God. Oh my God. There we go. I gotta clean off my leg. Get some of that snow off. You always gotta keep the snow off your ankle. Now these shoes, they won't get too bad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run back there and get onto concrete. Feel pretty good. We're running. We got it going. We got it going. Surprisingly, my toes are doing pretty good. We gotta watch out for cars around here because I have my headphones on, so I can't hear anything. You know? Yeah, a lot more snow than I thought. Pretty impressive. It's got to be a foot. We gotta try not to get run over here. As I said, Lincolnshire Drive butts up along a river, and across on the other side of that river is a resort, a big family type of resort with golf courts, indoor-outdoor pool, ballrooms, multiple restaurants. And during the mid-1980s, about 1984, there was an arcade. And we would go into that arcade almost on a daily basis. It was a fairly big arcade. When I say we, it was a group of 20 to 30 boys that I grew up with on that street, of all different ages. Some a few years younger than me, and some I hung out with that were as much as 5 to 6 to 7 years older than me. Somehow, at some point, we learned that in the arcade, there were numerous ways that we could break into the games, that we could get the credits for free, that we could open up the back of some of the arcades like Galaxy and Centipede and Space Invaders, and we could steal all the quarters out of there. At some point, we learned that if we brought some pennies with us, there was a way that we could go underneath, where if you put a quarter in to play Space Invaders or Galaga and a quarter fell through, that part underneath where you get your change, we could take 2 fingers and a penny. I'll show you this. I'll get my live penny here. We could take that penny, or even a nickel, and we could go like this with our 2 fingers really rapidly and try and jam that penny or quarter up back into the machine, which would in turn cause the computer to ring a credit for the game. So, in other words, we could spend hours in the arcade for free. We would actually have a lookout person by the front door to the arcade looking for security, and then another person, such as me, would rig our specific arcade game with pennies to feed it with credits. And we did this for several years. Now, what's interesting about that is whoever would be servicing those arcade games at the end of the week or the end of the month, when they would pull out the money out the back, it would be filled with quarters and pennies. Now, if you just put a penny down the regular slot of the arcade game, it would just fall through and become your change. So part of Memoirs of Growing Up on Lincolnshire Drive all has to do with the resort across the river that I grew up at and lived at as well. It's an integral part of my upbringing, and there are hundreds of fun stories that I can tell you. One of the most memorable was famous people that I met at the resort. One day we were in there shooting pool in the game room, me and my friend Chris. It was about 1984. I would have been about 13 or 14 years old in the mid-80s. Chris was about a year older than me. And this group of 3 or 4 guys, tall guys, came into the game room with Coronas. And they were looking to kill time. They were older than us, maybe by like 10 years. And we didn't know who they were. They had like long hair down to here. They were dressed in leather, and one of them was really tall, good-looking guy. And there's only one pool table in there, and they asked if they could play pool with us, and we all began to play pool. These older guys with us, as teenage kids. And at some point, how or another, I will never know, we asked who these guys were, and the tall, most good-looking one, the most outgoing one, he said, "Well, my name is Rick Springfield." And we knew at that time that there was a song on the radio called Jesse's Girl. And
quickly realized that this really was Rick Springfield, Jesse's girl. And he proceeded to tell us that they were hired to play at this banquet hall down the hall from the resort for some party. And they asked us if we wanted Coronas, and we were like, sure. We're like 14 years old. And before you knew it, we were sitting there playing pool and drinking Coronas with Rick Springfield and his band. And at some point, that ended, and we watched them walk all the way down the hall back towards the ballroom, and we walked down there, and the closer we got, we realized that, you know, we're way too young to be part of this or go in there. And we saw some, you know, cardboard cutouts of Rick Springfield and his band and his promotional tour of this Jesse's Girl album. That's kind of the end of that story. So my dad had a membership at this resort on and off for years, but just for him and my mother and perhaps for me. And on occasion, maybe once every weeknight as I was growing up, ages 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like that range, I would go with him to the resort on certain, like a weeknight, like a random Wednesday, Tuesday, or Thursday night. And my dad never spoke much, but he liked to go to the health club, and I would go hang out in the jacuzzi, the steam room, the sauna, the pool, the game room. Usually just me and him. Sometimes I would bring a male friend. We were in the shower one night after, you know, going in the pool and jacuzzi, and there was this big guy in there, big black hair, and it's like a community shower. And I remember this guy, and we got all dressed up, got ready to leave and everything, and my dad turned to me, he said, "Do you know who that is?" And I said, "No." He said, "That was Johnny Cash. That's Johnny Cash we just took a shower with." And what's funny is I remember more of Johnny Cash's back than of his front side. I remember his hairy back in the shower while soaping himself off in the shower completely naked. So even though we got most of the arcade games for free, we actually were very entrepreneurial growing up. Me, a group of maybe 4 or 5 other friends, we all realized that there was a way for us to make money. And it was a never-ending stream of money. How do we make money? Well, this golf course that was right across the river from where I live had an endless stream of golf balls being hit into the water. So almost every day we were in that river fishing out golf balls, cleaning the golf balls, and selling usually 4 balls for $1. And back in the 80s, for a young teenager, $1 was just like awesome, because you could quickly turn $1 into $3, $4, $5, $6, $7. You know, $5, $10, $20 for a weekend in 1984 was a party. It meant food, it meant games, it sometimes meant transportation. It meant a good time. On occasion, we would collect a bag of golf balls that would be 20, 30, 40, 50 balls deep in a bag. We would carry all those golf balls into the resort, and we would go right in the jacuzzi hot tub with all those golf balls. We would clean golf balls in the jacuzzi hot tub. Again, teamwork involved, watching out for security. Back then, there were no cameras, there were no video cameras, there were no surveillance system whatsoever. In a large resort like that, there would be one security guard randomly patrolling the entire massive resort. We would even get so creative to go into the garbage bins along the golf course, and we would fish out of the garbage the cardboard little boxes that you would stick golf balls in. And then we'd take a piece of tape and we would secure that, and we would sell them to the golfers on the course as if they were brand new balls. And most golfers, you know, if you think of men golfing on a golf course, they're always in a good mood. They're out there drinking, smoking cigarettes, having cigars, playing, gambling per hole. They're just having a blast. So when a young teenage boy offers to just sell them golf balls, 50% of the time they would just say, sure, give you a couple bucks, give you $5. More times than not, they would just say, how much for the whole bag? So we'd sell them the whole bag. Growing up in Lincolnshire Drive was many adjectives that I will hopefully say in many memoir vlogs to come. We'll call this memoir vlog number 1. Yeah.